What's up, Rumble? Okay, I think we're good. I think we're live. Well, I know we're live. I think testing 1, 2 if you're out there. We don't have that many viewers. We had a lot earlier. So we're going to go live here in hour number 2. Hour number 2 starts about 4:05. It's 4 o'clock right now. So, all righty. Stick around. Q, what you got over there?
I'm looking at the traffic report, and right off the bat, I see that there is a fire at Tower Road and PHI here in Lafayette.
Oh, yeah. I forgot I can't hear that. Okay, so yeah, you got it. All right, keep going.
Which, that is interesting because it's listed as an airport fire. So I have questions.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Does it give it does it say it's on the tarmac or anything?
No, it just tells me a fire.
Wow.
So that's definitely interesting.
Tell you what, maybe we'll lead in with the U.S. Senate race again, just to kind of, see if you could pull something up on that. We were talking about some updates, but that thing changes sometimes quick. I know it did the other day, a couple of weeks ago, boys. Like every day, bam, bam.
That's for sure.
Derek Dooley. Ah, I told you.
I will click on that one real quick.
I knew it. And get a summary. Yeah, that's interesting. Wow. Yeah, so we're looking up something on the U.S. Senate race. I'm getting Q to summarize it real quick. So apparently there's some polling out that, polling schmoling. This is off of Yahoo, though, isn't it? If it's a Yahoo poll, but Yahoo will use Reuters and others, I think.
Oh, it's from the Cassidy campaign.
Man, come on.
Now
Who put that out?
It's Public Opinion Strategies, though. But I struggle for a poll that's being released by a campaign.
But hold on, what's the poll on? So Cassie's campaign released a new poll showing him leading the Public Opinion Strategies poll. What is that?
Firm here in Louisiana.
Yeah. I don't know.
We're going to have to come right back to him. I got to do some traffic.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. We're also broadcasting live on Rumble. Live on rumble.com, like Rumble in the jungle. Let me see you over there at rumble.com. Look up the Josh Guillory Show. Shout out to our KLFY Plus viewing audience. Love our teammates over there. All right, so before we go into kind of what I was telling you about Chicago and the teachers union, got to pull this up. So let's go to the United States Senate race here in Louisiana. Come on now. Can you imagine? This is getting a little interesting, but this is to be expected. All right, guys. So look, here's the facts coming in a little bit. All right. So Bill Cassidy's campaign has released a new poll. Now, his campaign released a poll, that happens, showing him leading the Louisiana Republic Senate primary for U.S. Senate. The Public Opinion Strategies poll, that's the group, the Public Opinion Strategies, apologies. And it was paid for by Cassidy, conducted from March 7th to March 10th. It shows Cassidy at 35%, Julia Letlow at 24%, John Fleming at 21%, and 18% undecided. All right, so let that sit in. Now, in a hypothetical runoff, the poll shows Cassidy narrowly ahead of Letlow, 45% to 43%. That is a reversal from a January Cassidy campaign poll. Was that released, though? There's no way. They ran that internally, and then, come on, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Come on. So that poll had Letlow leading Cassidy 46 to 40. That was in January, okay? Now, the article says that we're relying on Cassidy and allied super PACs. You've heard these commercials. They've spent millions on attack ads, branding Letlow as liberal Letlow. So those are all aligned with Cassidy. And his campaign argues those ads have helped her weaken her support. That's just, I don't even know where to begin with that. You know, like, can you I don't know. Some folks say that her record is worse than Cassidy's. I wish someone would show me that, because I really don't. I don't know, but I'm genuinely ignorant to that fact. I don't know. But I'd love to know. Letlow, however, she's focused her message on Cassidy's 2021 vote to convict Donald Trump in his impeachment trial. She could probably just run that in a head-to-head. Just run that. And you could say, hey, for the most part, our record will be the same. I'm going to be, a straight line Republican vote. And by the way, this is this. You don't have to worry about this. I mean, just saying. Now, that same Cassidy poll shows John Fleming improving from 16 to 21%. So 16 in January and now 21% here March 10th through 12th, or whatever the date was, just within the last week. This is a Cassidy poll. Letlow, like I said, she is going to focus on what she's going to focus on, but Fleming, he's right there. The news sources we're relying on, they note a separate February poll. All right, so Fleming did a poll in February. I do know this. And those polls showed differently. Showed Fleming leading at 26%, Letlow at 25%, Cassidy at 22%. So, I think the main takeaway, there's a few main takeaways here. Cassidy's own poll it now shows him in front of both the primary and a runoff. Fleming has a different poll, and we'll see. We'll wait for Letlow's poll, I guess. I'll tell you one thing, though. I do appreciate all of these candidates. I really do. As someone who will never be a candidate again on any ballot ever, I do know how hard it is if you're out there in the field working. So I appreciate all three of them, even Cassidy. And I really do. I didn't say I like what he's saying, but I appreciate the whole like because there are people out there. Quentin can't even let me. He's laughing. He's like, "What? Are you serious?" Yes, I'm serious. There are people out there that listening right now that genuinely support Bill Cassidy. Though that takes something, And for all those folks out there putting in all the effort, hey, thanks. I mean, this is democracy. All right.
True.
I don't like all those, pack things. I don't like all the fake ads and the tax. I don't like any of that either, But there are in each camp really good people. And again, in a lifetime far, far away, it seems so far for me. I know it's just the other day, but it seems so far. Looking back and barely peeking and getting out of that world, I do remember the hard work of all the people that were behind me, and that I appreciate. Always, always. Okay, so let's go back to, man, these are your folks up there in Chicago. I love the Cubs, but I don't like this teachers union. I don't like these teachers union. By the way, USA Baseball playing tonight, 7 p.m. against, Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Canada beat us in the first World Baseball Classic, I believe, but we've had their number ever since, hopefully again tonight. No offense, Canada. We're going to win. We won on the ice. We're going to win on the field, on the diamond. So, and then you're a state. Shit, he's got to stop. Territory, not state. You don't want to give the Democrats electoral college votes. Come on now. We might have one of them. One of the great provinces. Well, let's go to the province of Chicago. All right. I mean, okay, let's just dive into it. So like you want to understand what's wrong with big city politics in America? Like really, really? Chicago is giving us a perfect example of this, okay? The Chicago Teachers Union is now pushing to shut down schools on May 1st so teachers and students can participate in protests against President Trump. That's real. The people responsible, this is a yes. The people responsible for educating kids over there in Chicago, they want to cancel school for a political protest. The union approved a resolution declaring May 1st a day of, quote, civic action and defense of public education.
I can't think of a better way to defend public schools other than by closing them for a day and not educating kids.
That's a great point. So let's translate that into English. No school, no work, and instead, students and teachers, no shopping. Instead, students and teachers would spend the day participating in activism, demonstrations, voter registration drives, and what they call, quote, mass resistance training, end quote. You can't make this stuff up.
Man, they really are doing their best to get out of the indoctrinating kids argument.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, this is the same union, though, that we've covered in the past over other silly little things. It's just absolutely bizarre.
Agreed. Didn't they do some things in Minneapolis, I think, that we covered?
Oh, they did. But this specific union, too. The Chicago Teachers Union. They're a friend of the Josh Guillory Show. They don't even know it. They don't. You only have 24 hours a day, but it'd be great to get that guy on the show. I just have a few questions. It's like I used to tell my kids in Christmas, I'm just going to trap Santa Claus for just a few hours. I have a few questions, and then he's free to go. I just never could catch him. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Rumble. That was an old one, though. That was the, I forgot which episode. Anyway, hey, guys, we're in a commercial break. Hope you guys are doing well out there. We were absent. Hour number 1. We failed you. Nah, Quentin, you should have saw him back there. I'm impressed, bud. You got us up for hour number 2. That's fantastic.
Man, I was so frazzled pushing buttons and changing settings. And eventually we were able to get it back. Thankfully.
Take it away, Q.
You know, thinking about the Chicago Teachers Union and thinking about where students are academically, I think in the past we've covered the Chicago school system, and an overwhelming majority of students weren't reading at grade level. They weren't able to engage in mathematics at grade level. There were a bunch of issues that have been going on there, starting at almost the top there, where focused on protest, focused on activism, not really focused on algebra, not really trying to figure out what is the limit of an equation, not focused on rhetoric or the very basics of biology or chemistry. Activism doesn't really have a class in school, nor should it. Activism should be engaged in one's own time. And my problem with this is when one teaches activism, you teach a specific brand of it. So they like to talk about, we're going to teach activism to students that day outside of school. Yeah, no, you're actually going to teach a political philosophy. You're not going to teach about grassroots tactics. You're not going to teach about any of that. You're going to teach about your own political philosophy. And that drives me crazy. But we'll be right back after this.
Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We are broadcasting live from rumble.com. Look up the Josh Guillory Show. We're also broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Shout out to our KLFY Plus viewing audience. See that? All right, guys, and a special shout out to my friends over there at SeaSafe, man. Go check them out. SeaSafe.com, SEA, just like the ocean. If you are in need of FRP products, man, SeaSafe, they can help you. Their FRP products are engineered. They're designed to take on some of the roughest, harshest conditions out there. You got wastewater treatment plants, SeaSafe. You know, you got some sewage sewer systems out there. Okay, SeaSafe, they can help. And they even help with little residential, too. So, look, when in doubt, go check them out. SeaSafe.com, SEA, just like the ocean, and great American company manufacturing right here in Acadiana by American workers. SeaSafe, we appreciate you guys. Now, I told you, you can't make this stuff up in Chicago. You just can't make it up. I thought you could, but you can't. So you got the Chicago Teachers Union really focused on educating. Really focused on teacher advocacy. Yeah, right. Focus on that bureaucracy, that power. Well, instead of students, and teachers spending the day learning, no, schools close. Instead, they're both teachers and students alike. Mandatory fun time. The whole day, they must be... They must be, greetings, you've been volunteered to participate in activism. Yes, voter registration drives, which ordinarily you would think 30 years ago would be fair and innocent and no big deal, but we know what this means. And I'm sure they're going to real conservative parts of Chicago registering voters. And this is the real kicker. They call this, quote, this is a quote, Mass resistance training. Now, do you think all 100% of the parents and 100% of the taxpayers who foot the bill for this public education, you really think that there's a consensus on this?
In like three people's heads. And it's the three people who organized it.
I think you're right. Because if you go, I don't care, Democrat or Republican, if you ask, hey guys, it costs collectively the taxpayers this much this day to put this on. Now, we could have either used that time to teach algebra, or we're going to go do mass resistance training. Sounds like, isn't that the home of community organizing, Chicago?
I do believe so.
You got to organize. Anyway, so the union's vice president says the goal is to stand up to what he calls the, quote, I got a bunch of quotes today, authoritarian billionaire in Washington. Yeah, the only president in our lifetime who, well, since probably Clinton, whose wealth went down going in office.
That's true.
Yes. Like, give me a break. But that's their phrase for President Trump. That's these leaders teaching these kids that are, I mean, I don't think I need to preach here to the choir. Politics do not need to be developed in children's minds. We just teach the STEM, teach the science, teach what matters.
Preach.
I mean, you have electives. You can have all the kooky electives you want, okay? And if the parents want to do it, great. Those guys probably want the teacher union to pick their electives and probably program them like, oh, well, we have 38 that need to be this in their profession because we use this algorithm because we know more about that than the parents. But look, that's their phrase for President Trump. Authoritarian billionaire in Washington. I'm quoting them. Now think about this for a moment. Again, parents send their kids to school to learn the basics. Math, science, history, reading. The Chicago Teachers Union apparently thinks the real priority is organizing political protests. And remember, this isn't Chicago. It's not like a random town. A city already dealing with massive financial problems, struggling schools. I know we covered this because we rattled off the Chicago grades at one time. Horrible. Declining academic performance. Instead of focusing on improving education, instead of focusing on taking care of teachers, the boots on the ground teachers that wake up every day and want to do their job, reward those folks. Get rid of the ones that don't. But most teachers I meet, they don't do it for the pay. I haven't met one yet. I really haven't. It's all their heart. That's what they want to do. They feel called to teach. Let them teach. You know, I'm not an anti-teachers union. I just want the teachers union to focus on students and teachers. That's it.
Yup.
And empowering parents' decision. Used to that was implied, but I guess you have to say it now.
And stop harassing Walmart or Target workers about their corporate DEI policies.
Do you remember that?
That's what I kept going back to. I couldn't remember exactly what it was.
Where is the role of education in that?
It's just not there. It's pure activism.
And if you want, make an elective. Hey, the school district or however they do it over there, they may have independent school districts. I don't know. But whatever they are, why don't you just make some electives, political activism? And here's the curriculum, all the things, and you bring it. Mom and dad can sign off, or whoever's in charge over there, they can sign off.
And it could even be nonpartisan.
I don't even care. But just be transparent. But I'll tell you this, there's at least one kid at those schools. There's at least one kid in Chicago whose parents are not okay with this.
That's for sure. And
it's probably more than one, and it's probably not all Republicans.
Yeah, because, I mean, what are the parents going to do for childcare that day?
Man, they don't. Well, they'll be with it's still school. It's just protest day. Now, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I don't know that question. It kind of frustrates. I don't want to beat up on the school board and the school system because it's so easy. Because I'll tell you, when I was in office, yeah, a long time ago, it's never happened again. But the, I looked at it one way, and as a parent, I'm like, who's the child? Well, what about childcare? It's always a struggle. It's a balance. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Sean, we're coming to you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are not live. We're live behind the scenes.
What's up, guys?
And we were talking about the Chicago School District and a protest movement that seems to be breaking out, not among students naturally deciding to organize and walk out over uniform rules or right after I graduated high school here in Lafayette, Louisiana, I remember there was this huge uniform change, and students decided they wanted to organize and do this mass walkout. And I thought it was cool because it was organized by students. They ended up not doing it because it would have been a terrible decision. Administration made that really clear.
Did y'all hear that? That's nuts.
I thought it was cool. I was like, man, these kids are engaged.
Oh, wait, no, I heard the first part. Maybe I didn't hear. Okay, I'm sorry.
They wanted to do a walkout over uniforms. It was student
I
organized.
thought you were describing. I'm so sorry. I messed you up. You keep going. Look, here you go. Como students protest school closure.
I think that's cool. And you know what?
Ooh, so they're closing Como.
They are. And I think every student should, if they feel so inclined to do so, make their voices heard at their local government body.
Where are they going? South Side?
I think they're going to add more Butler buildings to South Side. It's a good $100 million investment. Not trying to be mean to anyone who made the decision. I understand things have to be done. But they're going to go to South Side and 2 other schools. And, when we talk about closing schools, we're really talking about closing friend groups and closing relationships that students have built over many, many years. Now, again, I am not blaming the school board. Tough decisions have to be made, and that's what leadership is about. But I recognize the pain these kids are experiencing. I mean, for all they know, their best friend is now going to go to another school. It's definitely possible. Now, that's the high school, right? So what's that also do to sports teams that have been together for years and building those relationships? I understand that student protest. I do not understand the student protest in Chicago. Because it's not a student protest. It's a union-organized protest being shoved down the throats of students. And that's just wrong.
Okay, I think I'm back in the game. Whew, all right. I still got a day job,
Yeah?
I still got a day job. I'm digging this. So we're watching KLFY Plus. It's our partner. We're on from 3 to 4. And, it's cool because I get to see some local stuff. We get to see some local stuff that we usually don't get to see. Like, we're going to cover that Como thing.
Yeah.
Why not? So, are we good with this one, you think? We're good with this topic, or you want to stay on it? What you want to do? I have one more that we could fit in, probably.
Did we do Cuba?
No.
We should do Cuba.
I don't have it.
Oh.
But this was a good one. Gulf nations push to end the Iran war.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that's a good one. But we'll go with Como High, and we'll go with some other stuff. Anything else local?
Not that I read earlier. I definitely get them. They, and it's not that they don't want the people of Iran to get a new government. It's that they want their oil to make it out of the Strait of Hormuz without getting bombed.
They're like, can we just get the oil out?
Yeah. And I'm like, man, what if we built a pipeline through the Gulf states to the end of the Strait of Hormuz, beyond Iran, and then we just moved all the ship loading?
I was thinking move the ports.
Yeah, I mean, we could take their strategic advantage right away from them.
Could you reroute? Yeah, with pipes you could. Boy, you'd have almost like a UN protection.
Now, I don't know any of the logistics.
No, really. I don't think it's that hard. I think you do exactly what you said. You just Oh, look at that. I wonder if they're going to have a special
Probably not.
take a picture. Sorry, you can rewind it. Probably 13.
But we'll be right back with
Oh,
y'all, guys.
sorry. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We are broadcasting live from the KPEL Studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. We're also broadcasting live on Rumble. Let me see over there at rumble.com on all of our socials, right? All right, all of our. So you can go to my X as well at Josh Guillory, USA. Man, this segment brought to you by my friends over there at Préjean's. You can't go wrong. It's Friday, guys. Go check it out. Good Lent menu. And tell Ken and Tim and all those guys that Josh and Quentin said hello. Okay, so before we get to the phone lines, 232-1542, I just saw Como High School. Whoa, did y'all see that? Here in Lafayette, Louisiana, Como High School closing. And they had some students out there protesting.
Can definitely understand the students protesting that more so than a union in Chicago.
But they didn't shut the school down to protest. This is all voluntary.
It's almost like what activism is supposed to be.
Yes. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's do it. Let's go to Sean first. He's been waiting patiently. Sean, what's up, buddy?
Hey, I'm going to need Q to do a little research on this, but I just spit my beer out when you said it was going to be on May 1st because May Day is typically a communist holiday for the workers and socialists. So they're not even trying to hide this anymore, what they're trying to accomplish. They're just putting it all out there and swinging for the fences, man. I can't believe this on that particular day.
Well,
that is a good point.
That is, man, Sean, you're right. I mean, right in the opening. Wow, man, that's crazy. Good point, Sean. Appreciate you, as always. All right, let's go to Jerry. What's up, Jerry?
Oh, not too much. I just want to state these facts, and that's what they are. You know, the school board says that they're losing $2 million a year on Como, but they're going to shut it down because of underutilization. But they're going to spend $24 million to revamp it. But yet, whenever all these subdivisions kick off and the fastest growing community and all of that stuff, these kids are going to have somewhere to go to school, and then we're going to be short of school. Then they're going to come to the taxpayers wanting to build a new school. In the meantime, they have an old Prairie Elementary. Instead of utilizing that, they're selling that prime real estate. My question is the school board going to reimburse us for that property they make a profit on? Thank you.
Yeah, hey, look, good question. I don't know, and I want to be fair to the decision makers over there because I don't know what all went into that, but it is interesting. Now, Q's looking it up because you said something, Jerry, that made me think. Is it? And if anybody knows this answer out there, I'm just reporting what I saw on the TV in the local news. But if you know, if they're doing a revamp or they remodeling, it's going to a different type of facility, is my understanding. Because I would have had a question. Being that the Performing Arts Center was built there. I think that's a Performing Arts Center that they just built. Very nice.
It looks like it's going to become the W.D. and Mary Baker Smith Career Center.
And the E.J. Sam Accelerated School. So they expect those programs to begin serving students in, no later than 28-29. So, okay, so it's just changing the mission. All right. Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it yet, but I do know that that's been a talk for a little bit, though. Como's been in that discussion for at least a few years, I think. Hey, so look, if anybody has any any thoughts on that? Call in. Let's go to Renee. Renee, what's up, Renee?
Yeah, I got thoughts on education. It's like Marlbell used to be a monopoly. Let's stop having monopolies. Let's have more commercial schools. I mean, parallel schools. Right wing commercial. If you can't have somebody pass the test while somebody's observing, make sure they're not cheating, then you don't need to be teaching. You need to have somebody that make people pass the test. And put the dumb kids with the dumb kids and the smart one with the smart ones. Or the ones that want to learn at least.
Well, I need some educators to good points. I need some educators to call in or somebody that's in administration because I believe.
Well, one last thing,
yeah, what's
please.
up? What's up?
We've got all these smart people from foreign countries that got talents that could teach. Let's if we can afford them, let's have them. So we have smaller classes with smarter people that really want to teach about reading, writing, and arithmetic, not about transgender and giving up our whole country to everybody else.
Hey, good. A lot of people shaking their heads. I thought for a while there, I don't know, maybe I felt like when I was in school that they did kind of group the real smart kids in one spot, and I had to go watch them. I'm telling you, I don't even know how I got into UL. I don't think I would have gotten into UL today's standards. I really don't. I was focusing on football and girls. That's it. The fact that I got in. Now, once I got in, I wrote, I paid for it. So once I wrote that first little check in the student union, the old student union, for a used book that was over $100, I said, I'm reading every word. I'm reading every footnote. I'm reading the glossary, the index, the table of contents. And out of fear, I passed undergraduate and law school. Anyway, all right, this is a topic. Definitely, I'm glad we were able to get to it. Gulf nations, man, over there in Iran. So this is happening in the Middle East right now, and I don't think it's getting not nearly enough attention. So the Gulf states, again, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, Kuwait, Bahrain, even Oman, they're suddenly pushing hard for diplomacy to end the war with Iran. And the reason is very simple. They're sitting right in the middle of the fight. Iran's been launching drones and missiles across the region and in the region. Oil facilities have been hit. Airports threatened. I mean, desalination plants. The systems that produce drinking water in the desert. Desalination. I butchered that. But that is pretty big. You need drinking water. Now, that's been attacked. American military bases in the region. Prime targets. So, yeah, the Gulf countries are doing something a little unusual. They're trying to cool the entire situation down. But from what we're looking at, I don't know, Q, it seems like from all accounts, I think the Gulf states are just tired of Iran being, proxy terrorist country.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't done anything friendly for the Gulf states ever.
No.
They've exported terror to them as much as they have everywhere else in the region.
Bully type stuff. I mean, when Iraq and Iran when they were at Bose in the 80s, that was a fight. Oof. That was a brutal fight.
Didn't we back Iraq in that one?
Yeah, we did. We did. Wow. Had a little change of heart. Well, I mean, hindsight's 2020. I think a part of that was we have to show the Soviet Union that we are bad to the bone.
Yeah, I think also
the former Soviet Union.
If Saddam hadn't went into Kuwait, we would have never spoiled that relationship, probably.
Oh no. I think that was the first of the directional drilling, if I'm not mistaken. As a whole, we're not in Kuwait. What are you talking about? Look, the rig's right here. But look, these governments. I want to put something in perspective. Okay, these Gulf state governments in other allied countries, and that's what I'm gonna call them. These governments actually rallied 135 nations at the United Nations to condemn the Iran's retaliatory strikes. I think that is a massive international response, especially from that body.
Absolutely.
I mean, even in countries that normally try to stay neutral or lining up against Iran, that should tell you how reckless Iran's actions have been since 79. And here's the interesting part, by the way. See, the Gulf countries are angry at Iran. Okay. But they're also nervous about how long this war continues. So it is a, you know what I mean? Like we talked about no endless wars. They don't want that either. Because, go ahead.
I think it would bankrupt them.
Unless they come up with that idea. I don't know if you said that on break or last segment, but the Strait of Hormuz, you're like, hey, let's find a way to get their oil, like basically pipeline to create different ports. Just get out of the strait.
Yep.
No, you don't even need the Strait of Hormuz. That's basically what you're saying.
That's the only way that they're going to be able to eliminate Iran's strategic advantage. That's the only advantage Iran has.
Who protects the pipelines?
Well,
the oil companies. Come on, man. Put that on us, but we could oversee maybe some air support. I don't know.
Oh, definitely.
It's a ruthless world out there. And in that, I'm telling you, go talk to some folks that worked offshore in that area.
Oh, for sure.
I'm just saying. All right, guys, we're going to take a tiny little break. When we get back, we'll wrap a bow on this topic. Maybe we'll fit another one in. We're going to keep those phone lines open, and I can't wait. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We're broadcasting live from the KPEL studios right here in Lafayette, Louisiana. We're also broadcasting live on Rumble.com. I want to see you over there at Rumble. Go to Rumble.com and check us out. So we're talking about the Gulf nations. And they are pushing for an end of this war. And it's for many reasons. They don't want this prolonged war any more than most Americans don't. And I know there's talk about sending in the ground troops and all that good stuff. I'm going to trust the commander-in-chief on this. I really am. I even with ground troops, I don't see a prolonged war if for no other reason Trump don't want to be in history as creating a prolonged war. I mean, I don't care. Smoke them if you got them. If that's what motivates us to not get into a prolonged war, down with it. But they're nervous about how long this war continues. Because if you think about it, when you start to have missiles start flying across the Persian Gulf, everyone in the hood feels the impact. I mean, energy markets, look, they react. Jeez, shipping routes, they shut down. They shut down. You're seeing it. I'm starting to like your idea. There has got to be a way. We put 3 men on the moon, or 2 men on the moon in 1969. Just saying, you can move the oil.
Allegedly.
Yeah! Woo, why didn't I bring that up earlier? Yeah, did we land on the moon, guys? What y'all think?
Just to be clear, I do believe we landed on the moon.
Do you? I do too.
But those same people say the Earth is round.
Man, who's the guy with Buzz? Aldrin. Buzz Aldrin.
Oh yeah.
With Neil Armstrong. I just saw how hard Buzz Aldrin decked that guy at a very elderly age, and I'm like, if that dude at that age, like that's a guy that's been holding it in.
Absolutely.
Like I am telling you, we landed on that dang thing. I'm tired of it. So I saw that and I said, oh yeah, guys, we landed. I just don't want to be on Buzz Aldrin's list.
That's for sure.
Like, we are friends. Neil Armstrong beat you, but Buzz... How would you like to be those two?
How do you
Listen to me. You don't know if that aircraft is lifting off, okay? And you don't know if you're going to be able to link up with this small thing orbiting a doggone planet or a moon.
Right. And then you have to come back through Earth's atmosphere to get home.
Never been done. Well, that's been done. That part has been done. But geez.
And it wasn't like we know for sure we have this. We've done it. We've done it, and we think it's going to be okay.
We've landed. And if we don't lift off, we're going to have a heck of a ride out.
That's for sure.
I'm taking this carrier all the way through the atmosphere. Actually, I think you'd have to calculate how much oxygen. Well, you would have oxygen in there, but you make some calculations, and then if it's not looking too good, you're just broadcasting live to the world from the moon, and you're going to get some extra shots, guys.
That's a good point. Remember during COVID, everyone made fun of Elon Musk for wanting to make life support systems for hospitals, and he responded, "What do you think we build in the rockets?"
Ooh. Oh, man. Yeah, that's true. Hey, another aspect of the Gulf states kind of pushing back? Tourism.
Yeah.
We don't even talk about that, but the tourism aspect, that region is starting to really pick up and has for a while.
The Palm Island doesn't look as good when it's partially on fire.
No. It does something to the look, to the feel. Investors, these guys know that too. Look, these countries are just like America in that regard. They want investors. They want capital in their country. It's probably why they're not too happy about these tariffs, because it's making it less Look, it's always painful to do business. The question is, where's it least painful?
That's a good point.
And Trump is trying to say, I'm making it least painful. It's painful no matter what, but I'm making it it's more painful outside this country to create jobs and manufacture than it is inside this country. Now, Congress, I want you to codify those things, okay? It would help. It would help. One of the biggest concerns right now, obviously, is the Strait of Hormuz. That's the narrow shipping channel. It carries a huge, I think 1/5 of the world's oil supply. And it may take something very outside the box, what Q was talking about. Just ship the oil. Put some pipes, put them underground, protect them, secure them, change your ports. Don't be reliant. I mean, look, Iran has threatened to shut the Strait of Hormuz like it's like their Christmas card. I know, that's ironic. But I mean, it feels like every 2 years, Iran, we're going to close it down. Okay. What's their thing? But if, if the corridor shuts down completely, I mean, they know the stakes. Global energy shaking overnight. They depend heavily on stable oil exports. And we didn't even go into the impact on China. Today, we have in other shows. But I mean, there's a lot of world strategy going on, a lot of foreign diplomacy being exercised by the good U.S. of A. And I'm glad to have Marco Rubio as our Secretary of State. I'm just saying, I think that guy's doing a great job. All right. Whew, I wish we had more time. Oh, my goodness. I enjoyed these 2 hours, and I certainly hope you did too. Guys, be careful out there. May God bless you, and be kind.